and in this video I wanted to show you a couple ways to make histograms in Excel. I'm using Excel version 16 on a Mac, so some of these menus might be in slightly different places depending on your version. I have a data set here that I've downloaded from Professor Duran at the School of Business in New York, and I would like to, it has percent yields for the S&P 500 and also US T-bonds. So I can use this information, these histograms, to hopefully help me decide how I want to invest the money and where I might have the right investment. I'm going to start by selecting the data. I hold down Shift and then on my Mac Command, on Windows it'd be Control, and I push the down button to select all that data, and I can do Insert, and I can do a chart, I can do a histogram right here. This is an easy way to make a histogram really quickly. One thing that you might want to adjust, if I do Format Data Series, I might want to adjust both the bin width, so I might want the bin width to be a fixed 10%, so these are showing up in 10% increments. And then I don't like it starting at these arbitrary values and ending at these arbitrary values. So I can fix that by using an underflow bin. And so my underflow bin, I might have be a negative 20% return. So that's a pretty nice histogram. If I was trying to compare two things, then I might go ahead and try to make another histogram. This is for the S&P 500. I can type it. I might also look at these treasury bonds and make a histogram of those. So do the exact same thing. Insert. Use a histogram. Now, one thing you'll notice right away that's kind of tricky is I can set the bin width to the same thing, to 0.1, and use an underflow bin of negative 0.2. But because I don't have any returns as small as I had in the S&P, I don't have those negative numbers, it just starts this, it's not locking this in. And so these x-axes don't match the x-axes here, so it's hard to make a comparison between these two plots. So this is kind of a bad plotting, if I'm trying to make a comparison, this is a bad plotting practice to have x-axes that don't line up. So I wanted to show you another way to make a histogram where the x-axes line up. So let me just move these out of the way real quick. And what I can do is I can use the DataAnalysis ToolPak to make a histogram. So let me go to Data. I have DataAnalysis ToolPak. If this is not showing up for you, then you can search for add-ins here, and you can make sure this analysis ToolPak is checked. If it's not, and then it should show up here. So DataAnalysis ToolPak. This has a bunch of data analysis tools that we'll be using. These are just kind of shortcuts. You can do all of these things manually with formulas, but I'm going to do a histogram. And it asks me for my input range. So here I can do my input range. And then it asks me for my bin range. So I need a bin range here. So I don't have that yet. Let me just enter in these bins. So we said negative 0.2, negative 0.1, 0. I can just select this and drag this down now, all the way up to as high as I want. I don't think I'm ever going to see more than a 50% return. So these are my bins that I want, and I can now make that histogram. My input range, again, I'll select this data, and my bin range, it's asking, so now I have a little bit more control over my bins. And then it's going to ask me, I can select this chart output if I want it to make a chart, and I can give it where it's going to output the data. So I'm just going to select right here. Hit OK. So now it made this histogram. This should match what I have here. One thing I might do is I might change this to about 10%, this gap width, so that it looks similar. And I can delete the axis label here. But now I have this histogram, and it should match what I have here. But I have a little bit more manual control over the data. And so then if I wanted to do the same histogram for the other values, I can do histogram. Okay. Now my input range is for the T-bonds. My bin range stays the same. I'm putting my output for these, for the T-bonds right here. Hit OK. And I can make these the same width. Delete this. So this is now T-bonds. S&P 500. I can adjust this gap width to be about the same, 10%. And now you can see that these bins line up, so it's easy for me to make a comparison between my investment choices for the T-bonds and the S&P 500. So I can see that the T-bonds are a safer choice, that it's very rare for me to have a negative return in T-bonds, but my returns are also going to be lower. The median value is lower. And so if I'm like trying to buy a house in the next couple of years, then maybe investing in T-bonds is a safe choice. And I can actually calculate the median of this. It's about 6%. If I am willing to have more risk, these often have more negative. The S&P investments have more negative returns, but they also could have potentially more positive returns. If I'm comfortable with that risk, and I have a long timer horizon, then maybe I'll invest in the S&P 500. And so that's just some quick information about how to make these plots in Excel. I wanted to show real quick these histograms. This histogram tool is not doing anything crazy. I could get these exact same numbers. If I wanted to get like a CDF, an empirical CDF, I could do equals count if, and here's my range. This is for the treasury bonds, and my criteria is going to be less than or equal to this cell right, this bin right here. I could use that formula, and I can drag. I need some dollar signs, so when I drag this down, those references stay locked. I can drag this down, and so that's an empirical CDF. The frequency would just be, this first one remains the same. The second one is equal to this minus this. So this is now the frequency of each of those bins, and I can see that those stay, these numbers here match, these numbers here match these numbers here. So it's not crazy how this is doing it. It's just a little bit of a shortcut to use that histogram tool, and it goes ahead and makes that bar plot for you. Thanks for watching. Hope that was helpful.